If you've been thinking about changing something in your life but you haven't started yet, then this video is for you. Hello everyone and welcome to the Gentle Transformation Podcast. And today's topic is very near and dear to my heart because it's something that I've been personally dealing with for years, because I have always had this idea that I want to change, that I want to develop, that I want to improve myself. I love planning. I have like hundreds different notebooks. I have different color pens. I have stickers. Like I love it. I literally love planning. I'm all about all those resolutions, goal setting, defining different milestones. That's so me. But when it comes to actual performance, when I need to do something in order to reach my goals, when I need to especially start, it was always a problem for me because I was waiting for motivation, inspiration. I was waiting when I will kind of be ready for a change. And because of that, I've been postponing it quite often, or I was very inconsistent with my changes. And once I was inconsistent and I didn't see any progress, it was so easy to give up because I felt like I'm kind of still doing something, but I do not see any result. There is no progress, so kind of what's the point? I'm only wasting my time. And this type of mentality and actually this art of starting was such a big thing for me, and probably it is still quite a difficult part of my goal setting. But still, comparing to the old me, who still loved planning but who was not very good at the starting skill, and looking at me now, who is still dealing with some certain issues connected with starting, but definitely I'm now in such a better place in terms of my goal, in terms of my different goals actually, connected with my mental health, with my physical health, with my weight loss, with my binge eating and emotional eating episodes, with kind of building the life I want to live, building that person, that identity that I want to have. And in today's episode, I especially would like to share some of the strategies that I'm using that actually helping me on my journey. And I hope you find those tools also helpful and applicable for your journeys. And I think it's important because the more stories we have from other people, more successful stories are when we are getting more aware of different tools that we can use in our life, then we can understand that we are not alone, and it's easier for us to reach our big and ambitious goals. So first of all, I would like to talk about this idea why actually starting feels so hard. And I used to think that it's all connected with motivation. Maybe I do not have enough motivation, maybe I'm not disciplined enough. But now I understand, based on all my previous experience and the progress that I had in the last year, that it's actually not about motivation or discipline at all. It's about nervous system. And now it actually makes perfect sense to me, because when we're trying to change something, when we're trying to start something new, it's always everything so uncertain. We are more vulnerable because we are trying something new, something that we do not have any skills yet at. And it creates this kind of discomfort. And especially if you, same like me, already had a lot of attempts to change. And I will use for now the example of weight loss. I had like hundreds of different attempts to lose weight, and I was not successful at that, or maybe successful for a very short period of time. So obviously my body already knew the drill. My body already remembered all that negative experience, how I was suffering, especially taking into account all those crazy diets, fat diets that I've been following. They were short, they were stressful, so my body also remembered that stress. And also once I was kind of torturing myself and I was still not able to reach my goals, or maybe I even lost some weight, but later I gained all that weight back, so all this disappointment came, and my body also remembered that disappointment, that low self-trust, low confidence. And once I again had this idea in my mind that okay, I want to lose weight again, my body already was going into this survival mode, into this protective mode, not because my body didn't want any change, because actually my body just literally wanted to protect me, because my body remembered all that stress that I put my mind and body through. So actually the first step in this case, from the way I see it now, is first of all to reduce the stress for my body, for my mind, and give my nervous system that safety. Also, I would like to refer to this kind of myth that I believed also so much, that I'll start once I'm ready. And I told myself so many times that once I have more time, or once I have more money, or once I lived there, or once I do this, then I will be ready to start. But it actually never happened, because readiness doesn't come from nothing. Readiness also should come from something. There should be basis for this readiness, and actually readiness comes through actions. Once you actually start doing something, still without confidence, without willpower, without discipline, without motivation, that's these actions, these regular small actions, that's something that actually builds that. Even though, for example, in November, I kind of felt that I'm ready to move on with my weight loss as one of my primary goals, comparing to my mental health as my primary goal before, I thought that I felt ready. But again, there is a difference in this case. I felt ready because of all that work that I did before. This readiness didn't come from nothing. There is a huge basis for that. It's something that I did for over a year in order to reach that state. And again, it doesn't mean that you need to do something for over a year in order to be ready to move with your goal. It also doesn't work like that. The point is, if you want to change, and just your desire to change is already enough, and you can already perform very small baby steps. And once you do it regularly, daily, or every other day, or whatever you decide, you can do it based on the time you can devote to that, etc., other resources. This confidence, this progress, even tiny small progress, all of that already builds this road, this base for being ready. So practically, first action, first step, it's not something big, it's not something dramatic, it's actually something very small, very safe for your nervous system, very gentle and soft, hence the name of this podcast, something that can still give you that progress, still you can feel that small change, but at the same time it will not trigger the survival mode in your body, and it will keep your nervous system safe. So then, what actually gentle starting look like? And for me now, definite no, it's a very strict routine with no flexibility, a full plan, like all the milestones that I can reach from point A to point B. So no full routine, no perfect plan, no unrealistic plan that current me cannot stick to, and also no dramatic commitment. What is a definite yes for me? It's a small step that I can perform today, not forever, not on a perfect day, not something big and dramatic, but very small, something honest, real for me, with my current level of energy, with the current time that I can afford to spend on this right now, today. And it can be just like small walk, it can be just one meal that I will be eating mindfully, it can be like no guilt once I ate that meal, it can be rest that I don't need to deserve to have, it can be literally just one small kind action towards myself. Even though all those small actions, they literally feel so small and tiny, but once you repeat them regularly for a long period of time, they actually creating the most long-lasting change. And that would be that type of change that's gonna stick around, that you won't quit, won't give up, and something that your body will accept, and something that won't create this stress for your nervous system, but actually give your nervous system safety. Another thing that definitely was disturbing me and was crushing all my plans is this kind of forever mentality. When I was thinking that I need to change my lifestyle forever, it's like I can never eat sugar again. I should forever do this. I should forever walk. And this word forever was so heavy on my mental health, was so heavy on my nervous system. It actually created so much pressure that I actually needed to deal with the consequences of that pressure. Whereas now I no longer use that word because I understand I'm a human being. I live according to what's happening in my life. I have better days, I have worse days. I have days when I have more free time, more energy, for example. I have days when I do not have that. So my system is not forever. My system is flexible. On some days I can do way more. On some days I'm just sticking to bare minimum. And on some days I do nothing. And that's actually the beauty of the system. Because if we have a full fixed routine, a perfect plan which cannot fit into our life, we already programming it in the way that it's not possible to reach, because none of us has a perfect life with all those components always being perfect, like having enough time, like having enough energy, etc., etc. It's just practically not important. But once your plan is flexible, once your plan is responsive, and depending on your day, depending on your mood, depending on like hundreds of different things that happening in your life, you can just respond accordingly and be this and have this adaptive attitude, then it's actually a biggest game changer. Because on some days you will do more, on some days you will do less, on some days you will do nothing. But if we look at the big picture, if we look at 1 month, 1 year, you're actually sticking to your routines, you are sticking to your plans, and you are reaching your goals. So again, question is always the same, and question it's something that I think it's a good idea to do daily. Today, with my current mood, with my current level of energy, with my current life circumstances, what can I do realistically today to reach my goal? Again, not forever, not in a perfect day, but today. And my today can be different. On those 2 days when I have lots of energy, I can do more. On the other days when I have less energy, less time, I can do again minimum or maybe nothing. But again, overall, I'm going in that direction when I want to go, and I'm becoming that person that I want to become. Which kind of brings me to the key message probably of this episode, that starting, it's a skill. Something that you do again and again, and you kind of building this skill step by step. It's not a personality trait, it's not something genetical, it's not the way you were born, it's just something that you built yourself by constant repetition. And as any skills, it's get easier once you repeat it day by day, month by month, year by year, especially if it meets kindness instead of criticism. And this combination of repetition and kindness, it's like a powerful tool. And again, this topic is really important to me because on this channel, on this podcast, I actually talking about my personal experience. And I literally had hundreds of attempts to use different goals in my life. But right now, when I consciously chosen this soft and slow approach, I actually feel the real difference. And I felt this difference, this progress, this change when I didn't start big. So listening to myself, being flexible, being responsive to what's happening in my life, all those things are the core why I think I am now in such a better place, and why I'm actually reaching my goals. Yet, of course, in slow tempo, maybe not as fast as I did in the past, but these habits are actually staying around. I'm not quitting. I'm not betraying myself. I'm staying honest to myself and honest to my goals. And yes, the progress is slow. Yes, it takes time. It takes daily commitment. But that daily commitment and those daily attempts are so small comparing to all those dramatic changes that I expected. So they do not create that stress. They do not disturb my nervous system as all those big and dramatic commitments that I promised to myself did in the past. And what is probably the biggest thing, success thing for me, the way I see it now, is that I didn't quit. Because in the past, When I saw a slow progress, when I saw that I'm not reaching my goals as fast as I want, I was typically quitting. And 1 week later, I started again. So I always had this first day. Again, I'm doing something, I'm not successful, I'm not reaching my goals as fast as I want, so it means I'm failing, so I'm stopping, I'm destroying all my progress that I had in that short period of time. And again, next Monday, next first of the month, next whatsoever, I'm starting again. So I had multiple, like hundreds of kind of new pages, fresh pages to start. Whereas now I'm on this journey for more than a year, and it gives such a nice feeling, this kind of mentality. I'm starting again and again and again, and there is no progress, versus I'm on my journey already for over a year and I have a huge progress. And even though that progress is not so huge if we look week by week, month by month, but if we look on big picture, if we look at the whole year, the progress is literally huge. So if you have been waiting for a sign to start, this is your sign to start. Not because you are ready, not because you have enough motivation or discipline, just because you want to change, and this desire to change, it's already enough. You don't even need a clear plan or strategy or confidence. You only need a small start, action that feels safe enough to repeat regularly and actually reach your goal. So please leave in the comments below what are your strategy for your slow and gentle transformation. What could be your first kind actions in order to reach those goals, and what you are planning to do, how much time you think you need in order to reach those goals. And please be generous with the time. So thank you for staying here with me in this episode, and I think starting is a very important skill to have, because you may have all those nice strategies, nice routine, nice plans, but if you cannot stick to them, then they don't make any sense, because you still won't be able to reach your goals. But if you have this skill, this kind of art of starting and kind of staying consistent, then sooner or later you gonna reach your goals, and it's not important how much time it's gonna take. Again, it depends on your goal, it depends on the difference between your point A and point B. Eventually you will reach your goal, because if you started something and you keep doing that again and again and again, eventually you will reach your goal. So thank you for staying here with me. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next episode.